want to trim him. The sound is a bit tubeish, so I figured maybe it's not working well. All right. So let's now go through. Potara Gaming says, how you doing? So my question is, how is life after HOCD? Just like before HOCD. I mean, HOCD is a nuisance, is a distraction. It's not a reality. It's a mental glitch, a mental malfunction in the signaling system. And that's all. HOCD is like, as my good friend from UK, or was it Ireland or Scotland? I'm not sure which one. I apologize, Jesse. He has a channel called They Call Me Jesse, and he's got, he's got a very beautiful intention, helps people. And one of the analogies that he used that I always try to quote him and give credit where credit is due. He said, and I say it the same way, HOCD is like when people ask, oh, why don't I have, let's say, erection when HOCD is troubling me? And the answer is, it's like thinking that you're swimming in a pond and there's an alligator with open jaws about to take half of your ass away, and you're frantically trying to escape and swim away. And then right there asking yourself, why am I not having an erection? Because it's not the time. You're frantically fighting for your life. And HOCD creates the same kind of a mentality of fear and anxiety and, frantically trying to survive. Such a humongous fear it creates in you. And obviously, while you're trying to fend for your life, you won't have the feelings that you always are accustomed to and is natural for you according to your biology and the pre-programming when you were in the womb of your mom. So having this question of how does it feel after is less just asking, how does life feels after having a cold? Well, you get rid of the cold, life becomes the same. But if you want to keep thinking about, how it was when I had a cold, then you're still distracted by the memory of a nonsense. Cold comes and goes, like our body falls into some kind of a glitch or a health challenge or an infection or something. And while you're going through it, you go through it and you help it and you heal it. But then once it's done, you don't think about it anymore because now you're fine. Now, HOCD the same. While you're going through it, well, there's a challenge, there's a malfunction, there's a disorder, and then you deal with it. You educate yourself, learn how to deal with it. But once you dealt with it and understood what it is, then regardless of how many times it shows up in your head, you know what it is. So when you know what it is, you know it's not a threat. It's just an illusion. And then you just have your life as you always had. It's a knowledge that is missing. And HOCD is an opportunity for you to enlighten yourself more about your psyche and movement of the psyche, so you're more safe in life in regards to intrusive thoughts and so on. People who have gone through OCD and HOCD and have educated themselves about the subsets of OCD are far more superior and confident about themselves in general in life and their sexuality, because they have now figured out through education what this nonsense is, and they're not freaked out about it anymore. They understand there's a separation between brain and you, and brain's thoughts are not representation of you. Brain is not you, you're not the brain, and there are aspects of your mind and you that is beyond the reach of the brain, and brain has malfunction like any other part of our organs or body. So that's the end of it. The rest of it is just the intrusive thoughts that once you educate yourself about it, you're not affected by it anymore. And that's the key, not being affected by things that are not accurate, but the brain makes you think it is. and that makes you think is the key here to understand. It makes you think, not that you are. Hmm? That's it. It's like gaslighting. Brain is involved in gaslighting you. That's what HOCD is. All right, moving on. And Christian Flavholm, I hope I didn't butcher your name, says, when do you start? I'll have already. Aman says, hey, Mehran. Hey, Aman. 21 male India. Thank you for that. And don't forget, guys, Christian, you haven't told me how old you are, your gender, and where you're tuning in from. I need those, just like Aman has done. 21 male India, 3 little thing, 21 M India, or wherever it is that you come from. Aman says, yeah, finally 21. Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday, Aman. Welcome to the manhood, or adulthood, I should say. I remember when I hit 21, we went to a disco with other friends at the college, and it was interesting, I guess, but it wasn't like much difference. I just thought, okay, I'm 21. It must mean something. But at that moment, pretty much everything was the same. But I got to go to a disco and have a drink. I don't know if I did or not. I wasn't much of a drinker. So we have Column Haig says, hi, Mehran, 27 from England. Hello, Column. Says, people say that sexuality is fluid, but it's not fluid, is it? People are fucked up in their heads mostly. So they can say whatever they want to say. And you just stick to your guns. um, we live in an era that they call women and mothers birthing people. How fucked up is that? So you don't have to pay attention to all the things you hear in these days. The whole value system of the good old times and the balance in human psyche is gone out to the window. Not the fact that we all have some glitches here and there in the psyche, but by actually promoting garbage through the whole universe, I mean, for whole earth, through these bullhorns and propaganda machines, and disturbing and confusing young and, in general, children and young and youth, and confusing the hell out of them, including their sexuality and so on. Anything that comes, they want to consider it healthy and normal just to have people's psyche at ease, but at the cost of lots of people who are not attuned to that, are not inclined to these differences, and they confuse the ones who are not part of the group who are having differences of the majority. But as far as we're concerned, everybody's life choices are respected, and everybody is as important as the others, and we should always be respectful and tolerant and to anyone. But the fact that they're actually advertising and promoting things that are not necessarily applying to everybody, but they make it look like it should apply to everybody, to me, that's a disservice, and that is not the way that would be fair and democratic to everyone. Maybe to some groups so they would feel included, which is justified, but not to the point that makes the ones who are not part of that minority group feel like, what the hell, am I supposed to think differently than myself? Or, they're putting people through so much unnecessary information. Let's put it this way. All right. Guiding words is Jaime around 24 male Netherlands. Again, about the girl who left me because her mother. Do you have any advice on how I can pre select a good woman in my life who, in this case, not depends so much on her mom? Well, that means you need to, at this point, at age 24, you see, naturally, men go for younger women, just the way it's been. And if you consider that you're 24, so naturally you would be interested in girls 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and so on. You may fall in love with someone older than you. That's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is generally that's a practice. So if we consider you're 24 and you go for younger girls as a default, and they will be anywhere from 19, legal age of that country, whether it's 18 or 19, I don't know, 19 to pretty much close to your age, which means they're very young and they have no experience in life, really. They're just starting their life journey and they're learning, which means they haven't made anything out of themselves. Maybe they don't even have a job yet. So, which means they're not independent. When they're not independent, they're still living under their parents' roof, which is perfectly fine. But they could also be under the thumb of the mother, depending on what the mother's psyche has been and what conditioning she has received, what shortcomings she has had in her life, and what vindications she's hoping to have through guiding or controlling her daughter's life. These are things that you will not know ahead of time, but you will get to know. You'll have an opportunity to know once you enter their life for visit or whatnot, and you can see how she behaves and how the mother behaves and what they're all about. So after a couple of visits or 2 or 3 visits and meetings, you'll figure it out. You can't know that beforehand. There's no real sign for it other than the fact that you should be continuing this journey of dating with no real serious intentions for now, because you're 24. You've got no business trying to get married or anything. You just focus on your studies. If you have finished your studies, focus on your job and career, make money, and learn things you want to learn, accomplish yourself in a way that you will feel more confident. Being more confident, you will meet more confident women. More confident women, obviously, is going to be a better chance for you to communicate with them. And so through this journey of dating and not being serious, you will end up being what? Few years from now, 28, 29. That's when you know pretty much about yourself. You've accomplished so much. You're very confident. You've got your orders right. In other words, you've got your career, you got your money, you got some basis, something to offer other than your looks or your physical fitness. You have your confidence, your accomplishments, your experiences, and your career or your money. So you've got a little bit more to offer a woman. And then at age 28, 29, 30, you will get to be interested in girls of 27 years old, 28 years old, who have had a chance to have a journey in life, to experiencing a thing or two, to become independent, move out of their parents' home, maybe not, but that's okay. At least they have their own money, they have their own career, so they wouldn't be so much under the thumb of the mother or father in case it comes to that. So for now, you shouldn't be looking for a wife. You can be on the lookout for a girlfriend, and it doesn't matter what the girlfriend's behavior towards, being a puppet of her parents or not is, because you're not going to be thinking seriously about this girl for now, because you're 24 years old and there's no reason to think or count on a 22-year-old girl as a wife. She doesn't know which end is up yet. She has no experience in life. She has no resilience. She has no, as she has not, perhaps mostly have not experienced any hardship, no challenges, no tough life situations. No, they don't know how to deal with things. Maybe if they come from a wealthy family, they've been just fed through a silver spoon. So that's not a wife material. So you wait, because that even spoiled girl, so to speak, in a few years would have had a chance to experience life. And then she will learn a thing or two. Then it doesn't matter if she's been grown up in a wealthy family with all kind of comforts, or she hasn't. Through life, she's learned things, and now she's getting ready to be a more reliable person, which could be a serious girlfriend material or wife material in the future. But first, you got to build yourself. Then you will be on the lookout for someone who has built herself already, just like you. And then you're on equal terms. Okay, having said that, Zelchko Babik says, "Hi, sir. I have problem. Also do I. So says I'm divorced for 2 years. Well, that's a sign for jubilation. It's not a problem. Congratulations. So we have 2-year-old baby. Uh-huh. Now I can see the problem together. And he lives with my ex. Okay. I feel guilty for divorce because I don't show emotions to her. This guilty kills me. Well, you didn't tell me enough. Did you initiate the divorce? Or did she? And why did you divorce? What did you do that she divorced you? What did she do that you divorced her? These are things that, I'm good, but not that good to read your mind. So either go to my site. As you all know, I have a site. It is www.mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and make an appointment for a Skype consultation, and you register for an hour, and I'll give you 30 minutes extra on me, so we'll have ample time to explore what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Otherwise, here I don't have enough information, and these sort of discussions will take a lot more than a few minutes, but this is supposedly for short and quick questions, not more than a few minutes. However, I don't have enough information here to continue this, to respond to you. Zelchko Babik. Christian says, I can't seem to let go of my ex-girlfriend. Then don't. Suffer and be miserable and think the whole world has produced only one woman, and that's your girlfriend, and that she's got the secret of the world, and at whatever age she is, which you didn't tell me what age you are, she must be the secret to the happiness of the world, because she gets up in the morning, feeds the children, hungry children, takes care of the old people, cures the common cold, and that's why she's so special, and you can't let go, because she is the goddess of this universe. Is that correct? If it's not, then you got no fucking business to stick around and think, I'm so attached to my ex-girlfriend, because it's an ex-girlfriend. If she was that good, she would still be with you. If she's not good, why would you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? What's wrong with you? Go, grow a pair and move on. Life is short. All right. I can't let go of my ex-girlfriend. I keep looking at her social media. Well, keep looking. And keep thinking about her being with someone else. Yeah, naturally, she is. What do you think she They broke up with you to go become a convent somewhere. No, at this moment, right now, her legs are up and she's being rammed by somebody else. That's what you should focus. Why? Because it tells you that life doesn't end when one girl doesn't want you. You're still just as wonderful as you've always been. You're still capable with everything that you've been capable of. And you still got so many good qualities to offer someone who can appreciate you. So your worth and value is not in the affirmation or choices that others make. Other girls choose you, then you're affirmed and valuable. No, it's in you, regardless if somebody wants you or not. So now go on and find someone who can appreciate what you have. Hmm? There was a beautiful story, which I don't exactly remember it, but it was quite interesting. I think it goes like this. A father calls her daughter or her son, young daughter, and gives them this piece of rock and says, go out in the market and sell this. See how much it worth. And so she goes in the market and gives it to a jeweler, or gives it to someone who's, I don't know, doing business, buying stuff. And the merchant looks at it and says, well, it's a piece of rock. What the hell is this? It's round. That can be used for paper holder or something. I give you 1 cent. She said, 1 cent? No. She takes it back and comes to her dad and says, well, just wanted to give me 1 cent. She says, go try a jeweler. And she goes to a jeweler and says, sir, I want to sell this. He says, oh, it's just a piece of stone. It's not worth much, but I can maybe do something with it. I'll give you $5. He says, $5? Oh, it's good. Let me go ask my dad. He goes to his dad and says, listen, he just gives me $5. He says, go to a stone cutter. Goes to a stone cutter looks at it and says, wow, my goodness, this is a diamond in the rough. I'll give you $5 million for it. The girl says, what? And he goes to that, says that. The guy says, $5 million. He says, see, it's not about who wants to buy it. It's about if you go to the right place and the right buyer for what you have to sell. Pretty much the message is this. I may have butchered the whole story because I don't remember it exactly. It was a long time ago I heard it. But the idea is, if someone doesn't pay enough for you or doesn't want you, that's not your worth. It just means you're in a different market. You're in the wrong market. You're presenting yourself to someone who doesn't have the wisdom, taste, and ability and credibility to appreciate such quality. So you go somewhere that they can appreciate your quality. They know what quality is. Then suddenly they will be paying attention in a different way. So her lack of attention does not set your price or value. You being in the right place in presenting yourself to the right person, that is what your value is. And your value is always the same, regardless of who accepts you, wants you, or doesn't want you. All right. Let's go to Akshay Malter says, question. It says, I'm married for 4 years and my wife brings involves her family way more than required in our day to day conversation, which is causing problems while taking life decisions. She doesn't understand help. You're married for 4 years. Where do you live? Separately from your parents or her parents? Do you live in her parents' home? Or she lives in your parents' home? Or you guys have your own home? Are you guys independent? You can simply say, dear, this is our life. Your mom and dad and my mom and dad had their own time and their own challenges, and they grew together and they solved and tackled the challenges together. They've had their chance to make decisions. And it's now our time together we make decisions. If there are some challenges that we can't handle, we may ask a counselor, we may ask my parents or your parents, and we then assess the information they give us. Not necessarily go and do what they said, but we'll assess and consider if what they say makes sense in our case. And together we come to a suggestion, to a solution, to a choice. But just simply constantly relying on what your mom or dad says or what my mom and dad says, always keep it equal. So she doesn't feel that, oh, it's about her parents and then puts her back up. If we always go to your parents or my parents, then we're not really having an independent life. And what happens, God forbid, when they're not available to us? They're too busy or they're not here anymore. And they may be in different city or just not here. We haven't had a chance to exercise any independence. And at that point, we find ourselves lost because we have lost our guidance. We have lost our leaders. It is an opportune time for us to become our own leader by experiencing the challenges of life, making decisions, and analyzing things together. That's what the marriage is supposed to be. We are each expert in something. We have wisdom, and we are supposed to put these two expertise or wisdom together and lead ourselves out of jams or challenges in life. Sometimes I'm good and better than certain things in life than you are, so I will take the lead. And sometimes you're an expert in something that I'm not really much good in it, and you take the lead on that subject. And most of the times we collaborate and we make leadership or the decisions that is best for us together. But having others come in, what if I bring my parents and then you bring your parents and they bring their brothers and sisters and they each suddenly we've got a whole stadium, soccer stadium, trying to make a decision for something that is only for us to do. And eventually we may accept or reject their suggestions because it's not from us to us, it's from them to us. And they're not in our life. They don't know what we are all about. As much as we think they do, they're our parents, but they actually don't. So I suggest to you, let us exercise to be independent and we solve things together by reasonability, not by who wins and who's more powerful. And it's just not a competition, it's not a war. It's you and I. So let's figure it out together. And let's cut out these interference and coaching on the side. And we don't want to create a front, my front and your front, and we're just going at each other. I got to win this so to become more powerful, and my parents would be more happy with me and proud of me that I am leading, I'm forcing my will over my husband, or the husband says I'm forcing my will over my wife because my parents will say, oh, what a strong boy we have. All this bullshit. You're supposed to cooperate. You're married. You sleep beside each other. You go through the hardship together. You eat together. If you don't have, you don't eat. If you have, you eat all together. So it's you and him, or together, and you and her. So it's logical for you guys to learn how to deal with life together rather than letting others create a wedge between you two. So communicate this to her. And if she doesn't understand, then you can perhaps say, I'm sorry, dear. I don't think I'm comfortable with this situation. As long as you feel this way, why don't you simply go back to your parents and live with them and do what they say? Because in here, I want us to do what we together decide to do, not what they decide for us. We've been a child. I've been a family son, and you've been a family daughter, and you've done what they said, and I've done what they said. Now it's our time to do what we think. And I want to make this decision together, you and I, not them. And if that's not acceptable to you, you can go back to your parents' home and we'll just live separately until we understand. What else can you say? Actually, did you let me know? Guys, in every question, include your age and where you're tuning in from. And of course, your gender. Just three things. M24, Netherlands. Or, I don't know, F32, Japan, or whatever. Actually, we've only had one person from Japan ever. I guess we're not that popular there. Zelchko Babik says, I'm 45 years old, male, and she's 40 year. She don't want to come back. I try to speak with her. I think I'm not bad man. Only I neglected her. 2 years passed. I still miss her. Now we have God creation. God creation. What is God creation? Now we have God creation. Okay, I don't get that. I think something's missing there. So you have a 2-year-old baby together and you're divorced for 2 years. And the baby lives with your ex. I feel guilty for divorce because I don't know emotion to her. I don't show emotion to her. This guilty kills me. Well, why don't you? Who are you holding your emotions for? If you're married or you have a girlfriend and you don't show emotion to her, what the hell do you have a girlfriend for? Why did you get married? The whole marriage is about emotion. The whole reason the marriages fall apart is because they don't show their emotions. Because human being is dying for emotions, like an oxygen. You want to tell your woman you love her. Who are you holding it for? For when? And you want to hear from your woman that she loves you. That is such a fuel that you cannot best it ever by anything else. Such a motivation, such a relaxing potion. Just a word, but that word is not word alone. It's not vocabulary. It's got a package of energy behind it. And that energy is what is very important to the quality of life and health. So you deprive someone from emotions, which words have emotions. That's why we use words. We don't use words just to say something. Often it is just to say something. But in relationship and emotional situations, such as love and family and so on and so forth, and to your pets and so on, that those words carry a frequency of energy which translates into resonating in the other person's in the form of emotion, which brings certain neurotransmitters, is a trigger for secreting neurotransmitter in the other person to bring balance through the hormones that are released. And that emotion is the secret of health that is necessary for every normal, balanced human being during their daily life. So when you deprive someone giving emotion, it's like torturing them. Let me tell you in a beautiful experience that the president of our college, I went to Lewis and Clark in Portland, in Lake Oswego, Capitol Hill. And we had a president at the time, I forgot his name. But anyhow, on his PhD thesis, he presented an experiment in regards to love and emotion, which for us, it was very interesting because we were students of a martial art, Aikido, and Aikido talks a lot about and stresses a lot about universal energy and understanding and harmonizing with the energy of the universe and learning how to extend it, how to receive it, how to pass it through. And then we use that in techniques of martial arts and self-defense. So it's a very elaborate and interesting. It's the same concept as the Star Wars Force, the Force that they use, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan and so on. But that is in reality is actually an existing force, which we were trained in. So this experiment of the president was very interesting to us, the Aikido students, when we heard it. And here goes the experience in regards to importance of emotion. Check this out. Our president, President Howard, I don't remember. Anyhow, he set up a room, had the same amount of sun in both ends of the room. He had the same kind of plants planted in the planters in both sides of the room. He fed the same plants in different sides of the room, which were receiving the same amount of sun all day long, all conditions the same. He fed them the same type of food. He gave them the same amount of water. The only difference that he created between the two sides was this. When he would water one side, he would say, "Oh, beautiful leaves. Look at you. You're growing so beautifully. You've got so much shine on your leaves. You look so healthy and beautiful. I love to water you. I love to talk to you. I love to feel you. And I'm really happy about the way you're growing up." And he was watering them. When he would come to water the same amount of water as this side to this other side, he would say nothing. Zero. Zip. Just water and go. Within a short time, this side that he was sending love and talking when watering them grew taller, grew brighter and greener and healthier. This side didn't grow much. They became yellow and close to dying. So there is a invisible element of life that flows throughout the universe, and in one version of it is the energy that words can carry, and the package is the life energy, love. So you deprive her from attention and love, you are simply causing disturbance in their neurological responses, in their comfort and security level and psychological security level, in secretion of neurotransmitters and the general happiness. Some people do it because they're afraid of losing their woman, so they don't pay attention or they don't show much attention. Some people are just not used to expressing emotions because they weren't given that much of emotion when they were a kid by their own parents. Some people are just nasty. For many different reasons, people miss this very important part in a relationship and a loving family or loving relationships. So that is perhaps what has happened. I don't know if you left her or she left you. Either way, perhaps you can start If it's been 2 years, I don't know if it's she's still around or not, but that's the reason. You still at least can be the best father you can be to your child. And regardless of where she is, what she does, you can still once in a while send an appreciation gift for doing what she does for your child. I mean, both your child. I mean, your the two of you belongs to both of you, and maybe bring some flowers to her once in a while. Not elaborate, just something small. And if she's, what is this for? She says, for nothing, just to appreciate you being such a good mother. That's it. Build on that, and maybe she will see a change in you, and you mean it. Not to be mean later on if it gets back together, but you mean it from your heart. You're buying a little flower, just small bouquet, nothing roses or anything, just flower, maybe a little gift, and love to your child. Maybe take the child for a few hours so she can have a free time. Little things that she would notice, and be patient. Through time, she may see you in a different light. At least if you guys didn't get back together, at least you'll have a cordial relationship and wish each other well. All right. Hardik Kundalwal says, hi, a question. Hardik, you are what? 20 years old at the end, you say that in the beginning, guys, so I will know before I read the question. It says, hi, a question. Should we fight for the relationship? Is it worth the point? I like this person. We have never met as of now, but we have been talking for the last few months. I'm 20. I don't understand what that means. Why would you be fighting if you haven't even seen each other? Long distance relationship is not easy. It needs lots of dedication. It needs lots of precision timing, lots of clarity in communication, especially in the form of text, because you don't know what the other person is doing at the moment and how fast he or she wrote the answer, if she really understood what you said or not. All these, and what mood they are in, how much time they have. You may have more time to express yourself, or maybe you use different words and have a different way of communicating. And they may be busy, or they may not respond to you right away as you would like it. So all that could create some kind of a misunderstanding. So long distance relationship is a very military precision project. You got to be really on top of it. Understand that this other person cannot see what you're doing, cannot understand why you're late in response. You need to express, for example, um, it could be in any kind of relationship, a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, family relationship, um, parents and daughter, or parents and son relationship, whatever it is that you're communicating through X. They don't know what's happening through text. You don't know, they don't know what's happening this side. You each don't know what's happening in the schedule and business of the other person. So if you're going to be busy for a few hours, and they may send you a text at any time because it's family or it's a relationship. So you send a short text and say, um, whoever it is, your ex, your daughter, your son, your wife, your husband, whatever it is, you say, I'll be doing this for the next couple of hours. So if I don't respond, it's not that I'm ignoring you. Hmm? And whatever, however you sign off, if it's your girlfriend, love, or whatever, it's your children, say have a good time or good day, talk to you later, something like that. So at least they have an idea, so the communication is not broken, or no negative feelings is generated because a lack of timely response. Because it's relationship is all about attention. We love attention. That's why we get sometimes beside other qualities that we're looking for, we also like to receive the attention of the person that we are interested in. And that attention in text is very challenging to make sure it's expressed properly and not misunderstood. So when the text is not explained why it's late, or why the communication is not consistent, a misunderstanding could take place because you feel you're neglected. And because you love the other side, you feel that lack of response in timely response is a representation of lack of interest, or lack of your importance, or your priority. So these are important things. So long distance relationship, it's a sensitive matter. It needs both sides awareness, attention to it, and cooperation. So when you say worth fighting for it, for a few months you've been talking like this, where is it going to go? Are you guys going to plan to visit each other and make something out of it? Or it's just, at age 20, you're just going to hit on anything you find. So better let it go, because at age 20, and if you guys are not living close by or don't have means to keep visiting each other and plan for something more reliable or consistent in the future, which I'm sure you won't at age 20, you just have your fun and don't think of it seriously. It's just a good experience to be in contact with the girl, and for both of you is an experience. But don't expect, because anytime at that age, she's probably what, 19, 20, the same age, she may be invited by somebody else to go out, and physically they're in the same town, and it's very possible they'll go. But if you were like older and you had many different experiences, but you were not satisfied with the choices, and now at later on age, you have found someone that is really of quality and you guys are compatible, then you will do whatever you can to make that work by your presence with each other, traveling to see each other often if you can, making efforts, because then you've had experiences and you know this quality worth trying to make things work. But it has to be mutual, not just your interest or her interest. So in this way, 20 years old, go for somebody closer to your base, and then have some physical contact, go for tea, coffee, I don't know, see, cinema, whatever activities, and get to know each other in real time and in real negotiation of day-to-day life matters. And Dokra Tinisiagamer, I hope I didn't butcher the name. Tinsiagamer, Tinsiagame. Oh, it's a gamer, is it? It's not a last name, is it? You cheeky. Okay. It says, hi, male UK, 22 years old. My question is, me and this girl exchanged number and we have been talking for 3 days, but the problem is she never start the conversation on text. What should I do? So, what are you afraid of? You started. What do you think will happen? You started. Every time you started, if she responds, great. And the quality of the conversation is important. But if she doesn't answer, that means she's not interested. Then you just move on. You're 22-year-old. ocean of girls awaiting you. You may not see it right now, but they are there for you. But just not encountering them yet, but you will. So, and don't worry about your ego. Or why doesn't she start? Oh, you're a guy. Start. What's the big deal? Maximum is she says, "Oh, well, he's so into me, and why is he so into me? And if he's so into me, then he must not be that quality because why is he so into me? Maybe I'm not that. I don't think I'm that hot. So if he's really into me, that means he's into someone who's not that hot. So that means maybe he's not that good." Kind of things like that. So that means a woman who doesn't have enough confidence. In fact, it's good to express your feelings and emotions or interests to a woman, not overly, but genuinely. And if she doesn't reciprocate, that's your signal that she's not interested, and you move on. Next, go somewhere that they know your worth and value. They're seeking quality, and that's where you should find um, the interest in you. Says the situation is I stopped talking to her 6 days ago because she never texted me back. Okay, no problem. Good job. Move on to somebody else. And Hardik Kundalwal says, follow up question. I can't focus on my studies. Remember, guys, every time you put a question, again, include the credentials of age, gender, where you're tuning in, because I don't remember. So I don't really know who am I talking to, what age is it, where is it, what culture. So include that. Now I got to go back and see. It's 20 years old. Okay. And the long distance. Okay. Says follow question. Okay. I can't focus on my studies because of the time investment in relationship. And now we have a fight. I think it's worth fighting for, but also this wastes my time. What I recommend in general, what I recommend, or what you recommend, or what I recommend. Well, I recommend that you focus on the topic that has got the most priority. And what has most priority? Anything that is time sensitive. What is time sensitive? Your studies. Because once the time of test and exam comes, you can't retake it. It's gone. The opportunity is gone. You're gonna not pass it. You're not gonna get a good grade. It's gonna affect the outcome of your efforts for that course. And that translates to opportunity to go to a higher course, translates to finishing the university studies, the course of studies, and translates to getting a better job or not, or getting it later. So it's going to affect your life, which translates to food on the table, comfort, home, ability to pay rent, and have enough money through your career, and confidence translates to confidence to be able to maybe invite a girl to a dinner, and you have money, you have confidence because you have a job, you've finished your studies, and so on. And none of that, you allowed it to be affected by a fight through a relationship or whatever it was, that really there is no telling that even if you fight and you get back together, it's going to last for your whole life or not. But that education and that what you're trying to accomplish is going to help you all throughout your life, because it could be instrumental in you finding a better job, making money, and putting food on the table. So you figure out the priority, and the priority is not to be distracted at this time with her. It's focusing on your exam and the studies at the moment. Once the exam is done and you finish, then the time is there for you to focus on the challenges and discrepancies and the back and forth with the girl, which you would have the time to spend. At this time, you don't have that resources. Whatever resource you have, which is time, should be spent on the most something that has got the most priority, and that's your studies, because that's going to translate to a better life for you in the future. But this one has no guarantees for anything. It's unknown. It's just pleasurable time. I understand it's important, but free it. Take a break from it. Says, okay, I'll deal with it, but not now. It's like you're a surgeon and somebody's about to die and you need to surgery and then you have a fight. What are you going to do? Going to continue taking care of the girlfriend or the fight or the whatever it is, or you're going to attend to the priority. Once that's done, you did the surgery and the person is saved and getting back to health, then you can go and deal with this because this can stay, can wait. And even if it doesn't, nobody dies. She goes on her own merry way. You go on your own merry way. Life doesn't end. There are other opportunities for you, other opportunities for her. It's just your desire for pleasure and your ego is going to be a little bit, shaken, but then it'll get back to its balance by when you find new opportunities. And that's the end of it. But that priority for the surgery as a surgeon is take the first choice. And this is the same thing here. Take a break from it until you do your studies and take care of it. Then you deal with whatever you have to deal with. Guiding word says, actually, guys, again, please include your credentials every time you add a question because I can't remember who you are. Now I got to go back, see how old you were, where you come from and all that. 24 Netherlands. Okay. This is actually, she's not from wealthy family, plus her dad died. That's which made her behave very adult-like. It was her mom that wanted a better guy for her since our parents used to have a problem. In the past, which she didn't want to risk. I see. Well, if I kind of remember, I think we talked about this before. Well, if you're involved with a girl who cannot understand what you're looking at, and she's loyal to her mom, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but this is how it looks. Maybe it's not just that they have a problem with your parents or the parents had problem with them, and you say they're not wealthy. Maybe she's looking for a meal ticket. I mean, the mother is looking for someone wealthy, so it would help the things that they've been deprived or the daughter has been, and she's looking after the well-being of the daughter for future financially, and perhaps she wouldn't mind if her daughter has a wealthy or well-to-do person better than your financial situation, so maybe it will affect her life as well. I don't know what's there, but it is natural for mothers to look at the candidate for their daughter in the eyes of what was missing in their lives when they married your dad. I mean, her dad. And so she's looking for things to be better for her daughter. And in that way, she's at the same time interfering with the happiness of the daughter from your point of view, but maybe not. But the fact that the daughter is going along with it is the problem, not her interference. Her interference, the mother's interference, is normal. Most mothers do. And their experience is limited to what their life has been. So they're going to be making comments about their daughter's choices according to what was missing in theirs, and could be right or could be wrong. Either way, the problem is not the mother. The problem is the fact that the daughter is compliance, is following the mother, and that is not the right woman for you. Whatever the reason is, you can't forgo seeing all these flags and still want to be between her legs just because, oh, I'm a man and I'm trained to be a hunter and that's food. I got to do anything to get it. No. If the woman is not qualified, is not representing the kind of expectations you have, standards that you seek for, class that you are used to and accustomed to, wisdom that you wish to see in your woman, and so on, then it's not qualified. The fact that she's a female and she's pretty and she's got the legs and this and that doesn't qualify, because all that could actually become no longer a biggest deal in the relationship anymore once you guys start interacting on consciousness level and see that you actually can't stand each other's mentality, policies in life, outlook in life, mannerism, behavior, reciprocation of emotions, and all the other things that is involved in a good, healthy relationship. And then how you guys look to each other, how fit you are and whatnot, it becomes irrelevant. Because if that was the only glue holding a relationship together, then all these Hollywood actors and actresses, with the man looks handsome, the woman looks drop dead gorgeous, with all the glamour and the clothing and sexual enhancements that they can do, they would stay together. How come they're divorcing? Regardless of how good looking they are and how wealthy they are, they're still divorcing. Why? Because the relationship happens in here. It invites you by the way you guys look and fitness you are and so on. The sexuality interest, it invites and creates the time so you can get to know each other's consciousness. Well, once you did get each other's consciousness, if you're not compatible or don't try to be compatible, it doesn't matter how good looking the other one is. Just, it's not going to work. The chemistry is gone. The beginning chemistry is physical, but what causes a lasting, healthy, and happy relationship and sexually desirable relationship is what happens between the 2 ears in the consciousness of the two. So focus on that and then make your decision. Ben Muraya. Okay, you're talking to guys. Okay. Remember, Ben, we need to know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from if you have a question. Christian says, thank you, bro. It was a good explanation. Okay, you're welcome. Lucky Ducky Daisy Flower. I got to have a truck to read that name. Lucky Ducky Daisy Flower says, I felt my birth. Listen, Lucky Ducky Daisy Flower. Please include your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. I'll get your question right away. And Holy Shit is here. Well, that's very interesting. Screen name. As usual, it says, 133 male Germany, guten Tag. Wie geht's heute? So my ex cheated on me and left me for another. She's my neighbor. Last week, she congratulated me to my birthday. I said, thank you. Today, I saw and heard her with the new one. It's been 6 months now. She knows I love her so much. Why? Why do you love someone who's laying down in bed with somebody else? I mean, Jesus, what's wrong with you? Don't you have any respect for yourself? She has to show interest, and the interest is most expressed in a long run by exclusivity to you and you to her. If she's interested in other guys, that means that's not your girl, because your girl cannot be someone who wants to be with other guys. Your girl would be someone who wants to be with you and only with you. If you don't have that standards, you're out to lunch. You'll always be with girls who will be sleeping with other guys and cheating you, because you're just simply too available for someone who has not expressed her understanding and expectation and appreciation of your availability and consider that availability and expression of emotion weakness. That is usually a weak woman who thinks that way, or a woman who is actually not in the same frequency of relationship that you are. And that's the kind of woman you leave behind, and you move on to one who would appreciate you. Again, back to the story that I shared with you guys at the beginning of this broadcast, this live stream. All right. And Holy Shit continues, says, it's been six. Okay, I saw that. Says, why she's doing this and still wish me a happy birthday. You're reading too much because she wants to say that she's a decent human being and that she doesn't, she's not rude, or she also maybe she wants to keep you on leash to feel good about herself. Oh, that's a neighbor that loves me. So every time that she sees you, she's boosted, and then she goes and uses that confidence to, behave tough in front of other guys. So you're giving her the fuel to feel confident. So you just don't worry about why. It's a normal thing. What would you say if she didn't? Like, she was your girlfriend, and then she cheated on you, and now when she sees you and knows it's your birthday, she doesn't even say birthday. You would say, well, she's a scumbag, wouldn't you? And right now that she's just being normal, or at least trying to be cordial, you're saying, why is she doing it? Yeah, no. And you want to think, because she's still interested in me. She wants me to go and take her flower. No. She said birthday, you said thank you, that's the end of it. It's like she would say, why did he say thank you? Why didn't he kick my ass? Was that no, that's not normal. So she said, he said, thank you. That's the end of it. But she wants to read more into it. Maybe he's still in love with me. Maybe, who knows? And who cares? So you shouldn't interpret that, what she said, more than what it is. It's a birthday wish. That's all. And don't make it anything bigger. Don't read into it anything bigger. Don't think that because she's wished you a happy birthday, that means, oh, she's interested. It's a sign. No, it's bullshit. It's nothing. The sign is that she's laying with somebody else in bed. That's a sign that you should have nothing to do with her. You had your fun, you had your relationship, and she showed her true colors. No longer she qualifies. Grow a pair. Have some respect for yourself. All right. And her birthday, and a week later, and she knows I love her so much. Why she did this, and still wish me a birthday, happy birthday. And a week later, she hears Whitney Houston with her new boyfriend, knowing I can hear it from my house. Who cares? You can interpret as much as you want. But the fact is, she's in her house with another guy and fucking him. So it doesn't matter why she puts Whitney Houston that she knows you can hear and all that. The fact is, what she's doing is not being with you. Let's put it this way. So move on. Don't interpret anything. Your problem is you're perceiving things, interpreting things, then just observing it for what it is, and make your decision based on that observation, not based on what it could mean, what it used to be, and it reminds me of this. All bullshit. Don't waste your time. And Christian sends us a super sticker. Thank you, Christian. And Christian said, you skipped my question. Did I? Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh, you had more. I thought I did answer Christian's question. I did. Here it is. And you said, thank you. Thank you, bro. It was a good explanation. You have other questions? I'll get to it. So let's get to Christian. Customary when we have super chat, we're supposed to go there, I guess. So Christian says 23 male. Says second question. Ah, there it is. Okay. I've been dealing with HOCD for 6 to 7 months, and it has definitely become better. Still, I tend to avoid girls, and I feel my attraction and libido has gone down. Why do I avoid girls? Because you're distracted and trying to fight for your life and protect what you are and what your identity is. Nothing's going to happen to that identity. Nothing is going to change in you. But you, as a survivor, as every human being is, you will make frantic efforts to protect that identity from an attack. Not that the attack will be able to change anything in that identity, but you are, by program, obligated to defend it, which means you're distracted towards that supposedly nonsense attack, which in turn brings us to the same analogy as I made and used from our friend Jesse. Again, it's the same thing as I explained before. You're swimming in a pond, and an alligator's open jaw is about to take half of your ass, and he's right after you, and you're frantically swimming away to save your life. At that moment, you're so distracted, it doesn't matter what your natural talents in life is, and program and inclination and identity and abilities and whatever normally happens with you is, you can't ask the question, why am I not having an erection? Well, because the alligator is about to eat your ass and you're worried about your life and not losing your dick. It's not a time for the erection. So, same thing here. You are distracted with that. So, it's not that you're not interested in girls or your interest has gone anywhere. It's just that you are focused so much on something to save everything that is sacred to you that you don't have that balance and relaxation to do what naturally is you and how you naturally react normally. So you're busy with this. So once you educate yourself about HOCD and learn what it is, and then you will have that confidence in you that, look, this is what it is. It's not a threat to me. It's a malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. It's the generation of thoughts from the brain, and it's brain's thoughts. It's not my thoughts, and it's not me. It doesn't represent me because brain does not represent me. Brain is not an intellect. Brain is not me. I'm not the brain. Therefore, I am beyond the brain. And once you understand all these things, then presence of these intrusive thoughts and whatnot will not affect you anymore. You will understand that I accept that thoughts can exist and brain can make thoughts that are irrelevant and not connected to me whatsoever. I accept that all cars can be on the road and I don't need to investigate to know where they're going. I just focus on my car on the road and where I'm going. I don't need to know why these other cars are going somewhere else. I don't need to know why these other cars are there. I don't need to know why other people make suggestions that is to their own liking. The food they eat, the activities they're involved in, the lifestyle that they have. They can have whatever they have. So I accept all these things can exist. I accept all products and designs can exist. But doesn't mean because they exist, I'm interested in them. But I accept that everything can exist. I accept all people could have different interests. I accept all cars can be on the road, but they're going different places. And I accept brain can make thoughts and thoughts can exist. I accept thoughts of all kinds can exist, but that doesn't have anything to do a relevancy to me or my choices. But they can exist. But their existence does not mean that I am defined by their existence. Once you understand this, then you understand that intrusive thoughts is part of the brain's activity and you're the boss. You don't, the only person that can ever give any chance to any thought to become any actuality is you, meaning the thought Brain's thoughts by itself cannot become anything and has no power. It's only you that can either have them fall by the wayside, or you find them useful and choose them or use them for any calculation, learning, or any project they may have on hand. So, on that note, you're confident that thoughts can exist, but it's irrelevant to me, and I have my own life and my own destination or goals or plans or direction or intentions or whatever. So I do that. So, and the thoughts can exist, people can exist, their choices can exist, products can exist, cars can exist. I accept everything to be there, but it's irrelevant to me. Just because things are there doesn't involve me, and it doesn't have a power to change me. So I'm okay. All right. And hmm, what happened? Something happened. We got caught off. All right. No. Wengate, accepting doesn't mean you accept what the brain is suggesting, what the thought is suggesting. It means you accept that intrusive thoughts can exist, but they're thoughts. Accepting that cars can be on the road other than your own car doesn't mean that you're going to go where this other car is going. It just means you accept that all other cars can be on road and do their own thing. You're accepting other people living and having their own way of expressing themselves, or lifestyle, or what they like to eat, or activities they want to be engaged in. Doesn't mean you're interested in what they're engaged in. You accept that they can exist. So you accept thoughts, as you explained here. Accepting HOCD thoughts means you accept thoughts can exist, that you don't have to destroy them, dismantle them, burn them, make them disappear. None of that. It just means, yeah, they can exist. What does it have to do with me? Lots of things can exist, you know. So snakes exist, but I don't like snakes necessarily. I don't want to, play with them. Lots of things exist. Thorn on some plants exist, but I don't enjoy them or want to have anything to do with them. But they exist. I accept that they can exist. That's it. That's what you accept, not that what the thought is suggesting. HOC the thought is suggesting. And Chris says, "Thank you much. You're welcome." And Chris Chopper says, "Hi, did you see my question?" No. Chopper. Oh, there it is. This is male 29 UK with HOCD. I have. Okay, I have all that answered in many of the videos. It's going to be so long discussions here. So Chopper, you can go on my channel and put in HOCD, and you'll have array of hundreds and hundreds of videos, and you can, from the title, choose the ones that could answer your question. So it would be elaborate, respond by the video, and you can watch it, because we don't have much time, and I'm just about to wrap it up. Yeah, Wengate. You don't have to get anxiety, or you don't have to get disgusted or anything from the thoughts in order to be sure that, oh, you're not interested in that thought. No, being disgusted is, why should you get disgusted? It's a thought. So the fact that you don't have to get anxiety anymore, you're not disgusted, that means your brain is not fearful of it, which is the idea. The ERP is one idea for it, is to not to be freaked out by thought, because you have realized that the thought on its own have no power. It can't do anything to you. So the thought of it, that culturally has been introduced to us, that this is not us and it is mm, something that we are not interested in, it doesn't mean that you have to now react to it violently or disgustingly in order to convince yourself or be sure, get assurance that you're not what the thought suggests. It doesn't need that. You can simply see the intrusive thoughts. The intrusive thought. Thank you. I'm not interested. That's it. That's it. You don't have to be disgusted to say, "Oh, I'm not because I'm disgusted. I have anxiety." No, because you have understood they have no threat. And yeah, okay, so I can see in the middle of a movie, I could see a scene that I find it not my lifestyle, or I'm not interested in that kind of choices. But you know, it's not, doesn't mean just because it came on the screen, oh, I saw it, that means I have interest. No, it's just there. So okay, I don't have to get off the chair and leave the saloon theater just to prove to myself that I'm not interested because I saw it and I reacted in this way. No, I saw it, but I'm not interested. If I'm really, you know, I don't have to look at it either. But just because I saw it doesn't mean anything. Just because I didn't get anxious, or no, it's just thought. So okay, thought. So what? You laugh it off. So, oh yeah, that thought. Okay. You're giving so much power and importance to a thought that comes from a brain, which is a organ of yours. It's an organ of yours. A production of an organ of yours scares the shit out of you, as it could actually define or modify you. It's an organ. Brain is also an organ. It malfunctions. It doesn't listen to what your preferences are. It can go rogue, imagine shit things that is not of interest to you, but that can't do a shit to you because you're the boss. It works for you. It's like saying, oh, my intestine farted and therefore I am fart. No, it did what it does. And that's one of the functions that it does. Not pleasant, but it does. The smell of it, yeah. Brain also has malfunctions or has activities that is not of your liking. And you just simply say, oh, I did that again. That's it. You go. At least fart has some pleasantry. Depending. All right. Let's don't be so. And finally, I think we have explained everything here. Lucky Ducky Daisy did not respond to us as far as her credentials. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get to her. Obviously, she's no longer here. Oh, a couple of things here I've missed. Yusuf Yusuf Aleph says, Salam Chaturi, Yusuf UK, 30 years young. Okay, hello, Yusuf. Says, what are your thoughts on affirmation? In what context? What are you talking about? Your affirmation should be within you and your accomplishments, your way of negotiating life and handling challenges. Your affirmation is not in the words and the expressions of others towards you, because they're of a different consciousness. They could be having different understanding and standards about life and its qualities. So their words about you may not be appreciated or may not be expected or may not be up to your standards or accepted in any way, shape or form, or accurate. So you're putting your affirmation, your worth and value in the hands of somebody else. What do they know of your life? What do they know about what you've gone through this life? What challenges, what proofs, what tests you have passed, what efforts you have made in this life, what contributions you've made, accomplishments you have made, what things you've learned. They know nothing. So their words, if it's nice, great, thank you very much, I appreciate it. But if it's negative, it has no values whatsoever. Your value and worth and value and affirmation is in your actions, efforts, accomplishments, and experiences in life, and how you approach life and negotiate the challenges that every day of your life brings to you. On that note, I want to thank you all for being here. And it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.